What is up, guys? Today I wanted to get you a movement tutorial slash educational video because we find ourselves 100 days from the CrossFit Open. And one of these common movements that we likely will see in some degree or some capacity is the handstand push-up. Now, when I think about the handstand push-up, I think about this being one of those movements that has a vast ability to separate athletes from highly skilled and highly experienced athletes to the everyday athlete that's gonna show up in the CrossFit gym and wanna throw down in the open. Now, if you find yourself in a position where you wanna make the quarterfinals, you wanna get to that top 10% so you can earn your opportunity at maybe a few more workouts to throw down, or you find yourself at wanting to qualify for a semifinal, hopefully some of these tips will be for you. And don't forget, the everyday gym member, this is also gonna help you guys further your experience so you can actually look better, feel better, and have a better time kicking your buddy's butt in the gym. But when I think about the handstand push-up, I break it down into three aspects. I think about one, position. I think about two, strength. And I think about three, volume and endurance. Now, when it comes to position, these are common things that we are quick to overlook because all of us want to get going in a workout for time. We want to do the handstand push-up so that we can do the workout RX, or we want to scale it, but scale it enough so that we feel like we're falling down in a puddle of sweat at the end. We want to chase the intensity, and while intensity does bring great things, so does the technical aspect of developing some of these static positions. So we're gonna start with the headstand. This is gonna be a position where you guys actually find a true tripod or triangle position where there's balance between both your hands and also the top of your head. You guys wanna be able to balance there and have control. Optimally, what you'll be able to do is accumulate in a certain amount of time, maybe 30 seconds and even to a minute, where you can simply have your knees resting on your elbows with no feet on the ground, or even be in full extension where your toes are in line with your hands as you are in truly what's categorized as a headstand or tripod position. Now, when we find that position, there's ways to make it more dynamic, which I'll show you guys, and you can be probably taking a look at as we introduce some overlay to this video. But the goal is to increase the difficulty so that we have a true bottom position for when we do start to actually execute these handstand push-ups, where they're gonna be strict or kipping. That balance in the bottom is everything. So this is gonna help us with our setup, and as well as the traditional handstand hold. Both of these handstand holds can be against the wall, where you're looking to accumulate time, build stamina and strength in that isometric position against the wall, or it can be in free space where you're practicing a drill. It's also called a lunge to handstand, where you're simply getting the idea of, yes, I've got the strength to hold a handstand, but I actually lack the understanding on how to get there consistently enough to just hold a static handstand when there's no spotter or no wall present. Now this brings us to our second point, which is strength. And yes, I do consider the fact that you guys should probably think about this order of operations when it comes to where your focus is. Prioritize those higher up on the list as we graduate down. The next one is strength. Now, unfortunately, this is overlooked a lot because we do already a lot of pressing in the sport of fitness, specifically CrossFit, where we're doing shoulder to overhead, we're doing snatches, we're doing dips, we're doing burpees, we're doing push-ups, and all those pressing movements where we're training the shoulders and the triceps can help you tremendously in pursuing your first handstand push-up or the betterment of this movement. We want to give this unique opportunity to develop strength where we're actually upside down, where our hands are fixed on the ground and where our body is actually moving around it. You see, we don't mimic this movement or this type of strength or pressing action in any other movement. Even though we're pressing up or pressing around our body, our hands and this external object is not fixed. So when they're fixed, our shoulder blades or our scapula function completely different. This is a unique set of skill. Eccentric is where we're gonna slow down the movement. Kick up against the wall. You guys can do this both from the ground or from a deficit, and focus on controlling the tempo on the way down. This can range anywhere from 5 seconds down to 2 seconds, where you're trying to slowly control your way to the ground and then use momentum to kick up if need be, or a spotter of some sort. But the goal is for you to get strong against gravity. This is gonna be your biggest potential in order to build strength, so eventually we can actually return from the bottom of that handstand push-up in a strict fashion, or potentially even in a kipping fashion, and return to the top. So again, build strength eccentrically. Isometrically is really important as well. This graduates down from the eccentrics because what you can do is work on locking out from the top, just like the handstand hold that we talked about here, Or you can start to go down, and as you develop that eccentric strength, you can actually pause a quarter of the way, pause completely half of the way, pause completely 3/4 of the way. And when you can stop your body's momentum and hold those positions for a given amount of time, you are truly getting very, very close to developing the concentric strength to press against gravity on the way up. And at this point, as we develop this through time, guys, you can spend now more time with your feet in a pike position on a box or you against the wall, increasing the amount of strict handstand push-ups or kipping handstand push-ups that you can actually do. And then that brings us to our final topic, volume and endurance. Now, this is commonly where a lot of CrossFit classes are focused. We teach people the skill, we show them how to scale, and then all of a sudden we're doing 45 of these things in a workout for time. And while that's not bad, don't forget those beginner steps. This here, the mastery of these things and the improvement in your capacity and the position and the strength is what's gonna build your ability to faster build more volume and endurance. Now, I think about this in regards to max sets. It's not a bad idea to kick against the wall, scale appropriately, scale to a version that's gonna allow you to do more than 8 reps and go for broke. Do as many as you can. Maybe leave 1 or 2 in the tank if you plan on doing multiple sets, but this can build your overall general capacity and volume. Then the next thing is under breathing or under duress. This is a whole different type of skill set when it comes to endurance. As you know, a commonly known CrossFit workout like Diane, where we go from deadlifts to handstand push-ups. You're not doing anything with your arms except holding onto the bar, but all of a sudden with your hamstrings and your glutes and your erectors and your abs so fatigued when you kick up to that handstand push-up, it feels very different than when you're fresh. So having that understanding and training multiple sets, even if it's just on and off of an assault bike or on and off a rower or concept 2, or coupled with a skill like double unders. It doesn't have to be a hard workout or a hard particular skill, but it's important for you to practice these movements under breathing duress specifically. It's about redundancy. When you guys think about a lot of times getting upside down against that wall, our common limitation is actually our local muscle endurance. So while we can execute kipping or strict handstand push-ups while we're breathing hard, we really run into a wall if we come off the ground and we have to do burpees, bar-facing burpees into strict handstand push-ups, or ring muscle-ups where we have to lock out that ring dip into handstand push-ups, or even worse, and we've seen this from the guys at HQ, where we go from a handstand walk into a set of strict handstand push-ups, right? That local muscle endurance needs to be tested and it needs to be developed. One of the easiest ways to do that is to think about movements that involve the shoulders and the triceps, maybe like a dumbbell overhead walk or a dumbbell overhead hold into a set of strict or potentially a given number of unbroken handstand push-ups, or even dumbbell push press. This is a combination that we go with here a lot, especially under the athletes that are under the tutelage of True Fitness that I oversee. We love the idea of dumbbells in each hand, execute a certain number of strict press or push press reps in a given time, and then they have to kick up on the wall and either hold a static position handstand hold, or they have to give me a given number of handstand push-ups. Guys, I've given you a lot to consider and a lot to think about, but hopefully as you go back and review this video and you look at what we have here on this whiteboard, consider where you're at in your handstand push-up journey. First and foremost, focus on position and technique. Secondly, develop more strength in all 3 capacities, eccentrically, isometrically, and even concentrically. And then lastly, let's continue to build on your overall work capacity by experimenting and introducing your body to different stimulus that are gonna be coupled with that handstand push-up. Hey, we're only 100 days out. You don't have much time. Get training.